Guerrilla Games' critically acclaimed Horizon Zero Dawn was released in 2017 and follows a young hunter named Aloy as she tries to unravel the mysteries of both the world she lives in and herself. The post-apocalyptic setting of the game brings with it both intrigue and danger, as the beauty of nature combines with the harshness of machines to provide a unique and compelling experience. Today I'll be using gender and violence as lenses through which to analyse Horizon Zero Dawn. Despite the industry's attempts at fostering change, the gaming world remains mostly male-dominated both on and off-screen, resulting in a lack of well-represented female characters. However, this is not the case in Horizon Zero Dawn, that instead presents players with a wide array of complex women, the most notable obviously being Aloy. From her intelligence, insatiable curiosity, and determination, Aloy represents a type of female character that the community has wanted for years. Despite the peril of the task handed to her, Aloy never hesitates to take the initiative where others have fallen, and is determined to reach her goals. Her lack of sexualization is also a refreshing change for an industry that often falls back on the notion that sex sells. From an unashamedly normal face to practical outfits that still showcase her individuality, Aloy looks and feels like a living, breathing woman. However, Horizon doesn't emphasize her gender as past games have done to tick the gender representation box. During the proving, for example, no NPCs appear shocked that a woman competed or won such a harrowing contest, instead rewarding Aloy's strength and skill. She has agency in her story not because of her gender but because of her strong personality and talents, and is a catalyst of inspiration not only for the women in the tumultuous world that she inhabits, but to the female gamers that play her. Whereas Aloy is a hero in every sense of the word, Horizon Zero Dawn ensures that she is surrounded by female NPCs that explore the wide spectrum of what women can be outside of the world's saviour. From friends, antagonists, leaders and merchants, Horizon Zero Dawn provides a world rich in complex women that reflects so many different corners of her own society. From the hunter Talana to the tribal warrior Sona to the metalworker Petra, the women of the world have agency outside of Aloy and each have their own stories to tell. Elizabeth Sobek is another example, as she uses her intelligence to lead a group of scientists to save the world against the warnings and doubts of her peers. In a world like that of Horizon Zero Dawn, whether you're facing the impending apocalypse in the past or trying to survive against the machines in the future, raw skill is everyone's main concern. Gender is not an issue so much as your ability to survive. This is refreshing for female gamers and the community at large, as women are unapologetically put in positions of power, prestige and inspiration, while still retaining the complex personalities that make characters stand out as people instead of pixels. Due to the nature of Horizon Zero Dawn as an action RPG, violence was an unavoidable variable that the game would have to include. However, the combat is presented in a way that is not overly graphic and still respectful to the player's emotions. Instead of having Aloy moving through the world pointlessly killing enemies, you instead take the role of a hunter for who killing is a necessity to survive. The animations for killing machines lack gore due to their mechanical nature, but at the same time there is no overt outpouring of empathy towards her prey. The designers wanted to create a sense that the exercise of hunting is a necessary part of existing in the world, a point further pushed by modelling many of the machines after actual animals such as deer or wolves. Players are still immersed in the action of the game but are not necessarily negatively affected by oppressive shows of violence from Aloy. This choice was incredibly respectful to the emotional well-being of players, considering Horizon Zero Dawn could have taken a very different approach. Horizon also promotes the notion of unified peace and hope rather than raw violence. The story behind the game's apocalypse was a drastically terrifying one, posing an existential threat that signaled the end of life. The writers could have taken Horizon Zero Dawn down the well-worn path of hopeless desolation, highlighting humanity's hubris by having countries go to war and panic instilled in the wider populace. Instead, Project Zero Dawn was envisioned and a group of heroic scientists set out to give life a second chance. Not only is it unusual in this genre to turn to science instead of violence, but the fact that they were trying to give humanity a second chance and not save it was a very impactful message. Players suddenly became aware of the hope that lay within the horror of the apocalypse, and began to understand that violence isn't necessarily the key to solving every issue. Aloy's goal at the end of the game to not exterminate the machines, but rather cure their corruption, drives this message home, as Aloy tries to establish peace rather than continue the destruction. Horizon Zero Dawn is a world full of hopeful undertones. It communicates to players that while atrocities and violence will always occur, standing by hope can still prevail in the end. Guerrilla Games did something special with Horizon Zero Dawn, presenting a new benchmark for games in its genre for years to come. Considering the company's past with the Killzone franchise, this new focus on story, characters and hope was an unexpected but welcome change, and signals a shift in the video game industry moving into the future.